World Teachers' Day is held annually on October 5 to celebrate all teachers around the globe. It commemorates the anniversary of the adoption of the 1966 ILO UNESCO recommendation concerning the status of teachers, which sets benchmarks regarding the rights and responsibilities of teachers and standards for their initial preparation and further education, recruitment, employment, and teaching and learning conditions. In Nigeria, these conditions have for long been considered almost subhuman, what with the apparent disregard on the part of the authorities to inculcate international best practices. Of a greater concern, however, is how this state of affairs has progressively rubbed off on the growth and development of children, especially at the level of basic education. Dr. Nwakwesi, who is joining me now, is the Executive Chairman, Growth Mindset and Integrative Lifestyle Academy, Chief Executive Officer also of Healthy Living Services Nigeria, to look at foundational challenges facing basic education and parenting in Nigeria. Good to see you again, Dr. Nwakwesi.
Thank you very much, Ruben. Nice again to see you.
Let's start with the importance of teachers. Not too long ago here in Lagos, a gentleman organized what he called the biggest gathering of teachers under the program of 1 million teachers. And he was able to put together over 60,000 teachers in Tafawa Balewa Square here in Lagos. And the whole point was about celebrating teachers and teachers coming together to talk about their own interests. Now today, which is World Teachers' Day, the theme is recalibrating the place of teachers in terms of cooperation. So the emphasis is on collaborating. And the whole message is that we should celebrate teachers today, and also that teachers alone do not have full knowledge of how a child can be brought up, that they need the knowledge of parents, the knowledge of communities, the knowledge of institutions, and that going forward, how do we have this quality collaboration to make sure that teaching continues to rise in terms of standards, parents get benefits, and the child is also brought up properly.
Thank you very much, Ruben. Thank you so much. I consider this conversation a gift from God to me, because I've been praying for this opportunity to share my knowledge on the quality and the standard of education in Nigeria. So I'm going to sing, "The Lord has answered my prayer. I will sing hallelujah." That's it. Okay. This is a very, very important topic for the quality of the citizenship of Nigeria. Parenting and education are critical keys to sustainable development in any society. I was brought up by amazing parents, and they taught me so many things, but missed out on a very, very vital lesson. That is that you take responsibility for the outcome of your life. So I'd like on this occasion to please appreciate all teachers, parents that are bringing up children, because it's not an easy job. But what we need to do as a people is to be grateful for our strengths, because oftentimes we always criticize. So I'd like to say to the leadership, to teachers, to parents, we have tried, but we didn't quite finish the job. What do I mean by that? Our educational curricula and parenting are so focused on formal certifications, degrees. What do you ask a child, what do you want to become? He says, I want to be a lawyer. I want to be an accountant. We hardly prepare young people with vital life lessons, profound knowledge, strategies and skills they can use to build through success. Qualifications and degrees are stepping stones, but they don't equip you to have the wisdom you need for life, to have the capacity to make empowering choices so you can have an empowering life. So for our teachers, they are focusing on formal certifications, ABC. The teachers themselves are human beings dealing with all kinds of life challenges. You know, this thing doesn't show on the face, Ruben. When people are going through all kinds of challenges, nobody actually observes it. But we bring up young children ill-equipped to face the inevitable challenges of life. So what I am saying is that we need to go back and fix our foundational faults. We have some foundational problems. The quality of education focusing mostly on formal certifications without equipping young people with the capacity to make choices. Look at someone like Dr. Cosmos Madoka. Did he go to any university or school? But he developed common sense, determination, focus, and resilience. And today is a very successful man. So I think it's important we realize that our teachers are human beings, equip them with what they need to be able to focus and not to go down in the inevitable challenges of life.
Okay, doctor.
Thank you.
They say teaching as a collaborative profession. Now, that may be misinterpreted because these days, many of the teachers in Nigerian institutions, the way they give these children home assignment, some parents don't like it. You have gone in the morning to run up and down, then children will come with their books and the teachers will have put very tough questions there and you have to guide the children. And some parents protest. They say, why am I also functioning as a teacher? I'm paying a very high school fees. And then these teachers, they will spend some time with the children, then they will transfer the work to parents to be the ones looking at the script and all of that. So what kind of collaboration do you think they are talking about? Should they concentrate on lifestyle nurturing for parents that you are talking about? Why the teachers do their job as teachers instead of giving adults home assignments to be remembering algebra and Pythagoras theorem that most people have forgotten?
Ruben, I am a growth mindset and integrative lifestyle specialist. I always look at issues in its integrated whole. I also look at issues from the roots. What we do in this society, we mostly focus on the superficial signs and some symptoms of our problems. Now, parenting and educational curricula are intertwined. Even the churches and the mosques, they have a responsibility. Everybody in the society is supposed to be a teacher. So that collaboration is very, very important. Parents ought to start teaching their children early before they go to school, so that when they get to school, they begin to take certain responsibility for their actions. Then the teachers themselves have to realize that just giving the children ABC, the capacity to do algebra and mathematics, is a stepping stone, but it doesn't quite give the children all it takes. But you don't blame the teachers. The teachers themselves are teaching what they know. The teachers never went through any educational curriculum that included personal development, learning other skills that is not a formal education. So for me, I do not think that parents should be upset when teachers, because teachers are usually overwhelmed in this country. I really actually have empathy for teachers. They are very overwhelmed. They expect too much out of them, forgetting that they have families. Some of them are in toxic relationships. Some of them are not in a good place financially, and so they're not able to give the kids all of the quality education. So it has to be a collaborative effort. Everybody in the society should be a teacher to a child.
Okay. Education International, ILO, and UNESCO, they are also talking about the role of the community. I guess in this regard, the role of government. Because government has to pay these teachers their salaries. Government has to make sure that they have good training facilities. Government has to make sure that they are happy to stand in local parentis for parents who are also overworked. So what, in your opinion, do you think that the community, the government should do? In those early days, parents used to take food stuffs to teachers. The teacher was next to the traditional ruler in many villages. Now, people are, if you go somewhere and you say you are a teacher, they have already classified you.
The best advice I can give the leadership, and please listen carefully, is to encourage everyone across the society, the youths, the children, the men, the women, the teachers, parents, the pastors, the imams, everybody, to commit to consistent and continuous personal development. Teaching is a stepping stone, but you, as an individual, have to take responsibility for your life, your choices, realize the consequences of your choices. So what I'm advising government is, please include, I call it growth mindset integrative lifestyle, because I've made it so simple. I'm not into these highfalutin words that people find difficult to. Let them include it in our educational, all of the institutions, and I have set up an online growth mindset and integrative lifestyle training, and again, online relationship and marriage building training, because our kids go into life ill-prepared to face the inevitable challenges of life. See how relationships are failing in the society. So I believe that government needs to take this personal development on a continuous basis. Ruben, that's the secret of the Japanese miracle. Japanese have what is called Kaizen. In Japan, a Japanese man can never be the same thing tomorrow that he was today. He's going to definitely improve. Why do people buy Japanese products? Because every day they are continuously and constantly improving whatever they do. We need to introduce that to Nigeria. That's the missing link. Our churches and our mosques, they normally focus on spirituality, forgetting that many of the churchgoers are walking around with negatively programmed mindsets. They are enslaved to negative mindset program. From childhood, we need to teach our children positive mindset. I literally had depression for 6 years because my father was a perfectionist. He wanted me to get grade A's. And so I was always in that state of, I must do everything to please my father. I developed depression for 6 years. And that actually is my experience, my stepping stone to the woman I have become at 72. I have the energy of a much younger person. So what am I talking about?
You had depression because your dad wanted A's?
Because I was always
that was a legitimate expectation.
No. Sometimes perfectionism may have its obstacles. And that's why parents need to be careful what they tell their children. It's called negative reinforcement. Okay, you see a child that is fat. Oh, you're too fat. The child is going to grow up with lack of inner confidence. I'm going to be authentic. I suffered lack of inner confidence for years before I now began to find myself through God's grace, growth mindset, and integrative lifestyle. That time, everybody would see me, see Nwakwesi, you look beautiful. That was on the face. Internally, I was literally dying. My father taught me everything, but he didn't teach me that I had to be able to balance all areas of my life on a consistent basis. What Nigerians do is quick fix. You tell them to adapt. Oh, headache, pop a pill. They don't want to commit to a sustainable, continuous lifestyle. So that teaching has to be taught in school. Our children are many of them are unhealthy. We feed them with junk food. Many of them are dehydrated. So there are lots of things we need to fix. And I'm sure me and my colleagues in the field, we have the capacity to work with governments to improve the system.
Okay. Now, just to follow up on what you have just said, one of the things being looked at on World Teachers Day today is what is called mentorship. So, who is the best mentor? How best can teachers play the role of mentors to their students and in the school environment? At a time when if a teacher decides to discipline a child, you must have heard of stories of parents that go to schools with policemen, with thugs, with party activists to go and beat up teachers who are just trying to help to groom the children. So who are the best mentors for the children?
Well,
because you just cited the example, parents should not pressurize their children. Teachers should also pay attention to lifestyle, mindset growth. So who will be the mentor?
So we need to start the journey today. Ruben, the teachers themselves are teaching with their capacity. They haven't learned the things they should have learned as a child. The parents themselves are struggling. Many parents are focusing on building their career, building business, making money. Ego, kudi, owo, that's the problem. Many parents are focused, and sometimes by the time they come home, the children are even asleep. In these days, many parents, nannies, caregivers are bringing up children in our homes because mama is working, papa is working. So what am I trying to say? We cannot kill our teachers.
School fees are expensive.
And look at what's happening in Nigeria.
PACM
the school fees,
bills are very high.
The medical bills, everything is very expensive.
You pay for diesel.
Our teachers,
you pay for electricity.
I pity teachers. I have and that's why one of the things that we're working on our impact organization is to see how we can equip teachers with this training they need to be able to make their lives work and be able to impact the students better. The teachers need to learn this mindset so they can become coaches. And let me tell you, every parent, every child, everybody should become a growth mindset and integrative lifestyle coach. Ruben, I can teach you. And you will learn it and you become a coach and you'll be
No, I'm a perpetual student. I'm always learning.
But the challenge is
what did you call that Japanese thing?
Kaizen, yes. The spirit, that is,
Kaizen.
Have you heard about Deming Award in Japan? It was exported by an American man to Japan and taught them kunai. Kunai stands for constant and never-ending improvement. That's our missing link in society. Your past doesn't equal your future. Parenting, education are all important, but what you decide to do with yourself. You can bring up children from the same family, the same parenting, the same education. Some of them may even be prisoners. Some of them may be ex-convicts. Some of them may have quality life. So what I'm trying to say is everybody should understand that the consequences of your decisions matters. You cannot be taking decisions that is influencing people around you. Look at how men are causing toxicity for their wives. And some women are now going to get cancer from it. If I say that, you start...
No, you don't have the scientific proof. That's an assumption.
We told over the society, don't go there because you know me. In Nigeria today, we have a lot of old people, 80-year-olds who behave like children. They are 80. Age is not synonymous with wisdom. Do you understand what I'm saying? You can have a 20-year-old man who has leadership qualities, who understands what life is and is doing much better than an elderly person. In this society, a lot of Christians and Muslims, greed, selfishness, corruption everywhere. We need to watch our decadence. And that's one of the reasons we set up Women Aligned for Growth, WAG, a character rebuilding, social change and female impact NGO, and to make women to be role models of character. Women are nurturers, but women themselves have to also take care of themselves, because in the process of taking care of you men, we may go and be ending up in hospitals, and that's not the portion of any woman. Ruben.
Anyway, as we begin to wrap up the conversation, what specific message or messages do you have for teachers and also government? Because part of the problem is that not enough is provided for education in the budget, either at the federal level or at the state levels. You go to many of these states, some of these schools at the primary and secondary school level, they don't even have roofs. They don't have teaching materials. They don't have basic infrastructure. What will qualify those schools to be identified as schools at the basic education level? So what should federal government and state governments do? State governments who have direct primary responsibility at the level of basic education.
Okay, I attended one of the best schools in the then Eastern region, Queen's School Enugu, Queen's School Enugu. Today we are very worried about.
Was that better than Queen's School Lagos?
Queen's School Enugu is. If you don't go there, you'll be missing out.
FGGC Shagamu.
Today we are concerned about the quality of that school and so many other schools in Nigeria. Let me tell you what government needs to do. Government needs to, first of all, be grateful to God for the strengths in the educational sector, but have the humility to identify the weaknesses, then get together. There are some people I know. There's one lady in my life who is an education consultant. She has a lot of solutions to educational malaise. They need to be able to tap into people's brains. You know, the brain is a creative house. We have a lot of it in Nigeria. Men, women, and youth who are talented. Why are they not being used? So I'm telling President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, use your people. You're a leader. You don't have to have all the knowledge, but have the humility to tap into the resources in your society and get people who can do it to come and give us solutions, and then we implement on a long-term basis. Not what we do in this country. We do for 1 week, 2 weeks, we throw it into the cupboard. There are lots of solutions in our society, but we're not implementing it. So basically what I'll say is government needs to step up. I'm not criticizing them completely because we always criticize. I'll say well done for what you've done, but you need to step up. First of all, encourage Nigerians to commit to a lifestyle of consistent and personal development. That is actually the missing link. And of course, if you call yourself a Christian or a Muslim, you try and live the life. Don't be telling me you're a Christian and you have wickedness and conflict predisposition all over the place. It's not helping society. We want men and women who can add value. Thank you.
Okay, what of teachers?
Well,
because it's their day.
Okay, yeah, teachers, I'd like to congratulate all of you, wherever you are. I'm saying thumbs up, but teachers, you yourselves need to improve the caliber of who you are. You need to be able to learn so you can impart on the children holistic upbringing, because that is really missing in the society and it's causing us a lot of. But again, we need to please put together a teachers impact fund to help teachers that are struggling through life. Some of our teachers can't even afford a room. Some of them are living on in a very where it's not very adequate for them to live in. So we need to do teachers upscale impact fund to be able to support their lives, help them to be able to feel good about themselves, and then also learn to exercise. Because me, I don't joke with my exercises, and of course speak to yourself positive and faith affirmations.
Doctor,
yes,
let me add to it. Some teachers have this habit of always going on strike. What do you have to say to that? And at the lower levels, there are some teachers who sell is it hand notes, they call it handouts, or they sell chin during school hours and puff.
Well, we go back to the same thing. All of those things are.
I mean, these are profiles of teachers in Nigeria
coming out of the society they find themselves in. The society has a lot of decadence. So looking at the teachers alone, teachers are part of this society. Habits are formed. Habits can be unlearned. But basically, we need to identify teachers who are not in a good place. We are all kind-hearted Nigerians. Sometimes we spend unnecessary money in things we shouldn't spend it. Let's come together, support the teachers. I'm ready. If the teachers are ready, I'll give them free virtual interactive conversations to try and help them to find their missing links. But teachers need to be helped. And every parent should be empathic to the teacher of their child, support the teacher in whatever way they can, but teachers should not be asking for money from anybody. They should be men and women of character, because children are looking up to them.
Okay, on that note, I would like to thank you very much, Dr. Nwakwesi, for joining us again on This Day Live, the Sunday Talk Show.